Last call, please. If you can take your seats. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to start serving dinner. If you could take your seats, please. And it's my task this evening to welcome you to the Nik Stuart Foundation Awards dinner for 2017. And I hope that you enjoy this evening. It's my task to try and keep good order, but to allow you to enjoy the dinner, good company, gymnastics gossip, as we know is going on still, and the ability to recount tales that expand every year with the telling and the telling, maturing like vintage wine. There was a time when any one of us here might be sweeping the gym after a long day's coaching or training, trying to think of ways to squeeze just one more 10 out of an exercise, or discover the technique or trigger that would send our gymnasts, or more worryingly ourselves, into a double somersault. Now as we watch someone else sweeping up, our greatest worry is how we as a great gymnastic nation repeat or surpass the Rio Hall. Olympic medals in trampoline, high bar, floor and pommels, a double Olympic champion. This evening we salute those who turn fantasy into fiction and fiction into reality. People like Nik Stuart and yourselves, whose passionate vision carried us forward in tiny increments towards placing those gymnasts on that podium. whilst we honour those who wear those medals and take time this evening to quietly remind yourself that you played an essential part in that success. I ask you to give a big round of applause for our new patron, Mrs. Elizabeth Collins. Elizabeth is not with us this evening, but she played a great part in the story of gymnastics and the way it was brought to the public attention during the period that Nik Stuart was promoting gymnastics across the UK. Gymnastics was a get the kids off the street sport until Nik came along, and with Liz Collins' help we managed to produce new sponsors, great venues like the Albert Hall, and in many ways just retained that interest for a long time. We have apologies from our friends this evening Annette Stapleton, Tanya Swallow, Colin and Briony Wright, Jeffrey and Marjorie Carter. And we ask you to spare a thought this evening for those who are unwell and unable to be with us: Jack Scrivener, Jeff Graham, Jeff Bott, Graham Buckley and Bert Dooley. A thought also this evening for Malcolm Wyatt of the Oscar Hindenstam Foundation. The partnership with the OH Foundation and the Nik Stuart Foundation has provided a lasting platform for our annual meetings and allowed us to continue to honour those who have served our sport and the culture of pushing the limits in many ways. Malcolm is not doing so well these days. He's dislocated his hip for the third time in the last few months. So even up to that yesterday, he was suggesting he might still make it. So there you go. Unfortunately, not with us. Thank you. I draw your attention to the visitors book. Please sign in at them at some stage this evening. The silent auction on the table over there. There are several must-have items. They may have significant monetary value. It may be just intrinsic, sentimental or historic value. Or it might simply be evidence of our policy that if you don't eat your breakfast, we're going to keep serving these pieces up until someone places a bid. We'll be passing amongst you later this evening with raffle tickets. No end to the excitement that we're going to bring to you. We will be allowing you to eat heartily, relatively undisturbed. Please welcome Chairman of the Nik Stuart Foundation, Mr. Mike Swan.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you all a warm welcome to the 15th Annual Nik Stuart Dinner and Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We are pleased to welcome our honoured inductees into the Nik Stuart Foundation Hall of Fame, but we must also take a moment to remember those who have lost this year and those who are unable to attend due to ill health. Let us remind ourselves why we are here this evening, and that is to honour the name of Nik Stuart, for many of us, our mentor. I think the citation on the diplomas says it all. The citation reads, "The Foundation honours Nik Stuart, MBE, who through his philosophy, ideals and interests served his country with distinction and inspired all those who came in contact with him throughout the world towards self-improvement and physical education. A renowned ambassador, gymnast, diver, acrobat, and lecture demonstrator par excellence, and the father of modern gymnastics in Britain. And to award and induct into the Hall of Fame those who, by example, have thoroughly distinguished themselves, inspired, and benefited others. So I wish you all a pleasant and enjoyable evening, and I would now like to hand you back to our Master of Ceremonies, the Vice Chairman of the Nik Stuart Foundation, Mr. Tweddle.
So it's meal time. Maitre d', do we have one? Waiters, do we have them? Yes, all in place. The floor is yours. Thank you. There is one thing being forgotten, Mrs. Hall, one more thing. I'd ask also to introduce to you, to say grace, Reverend Lucy Howard.
Good evening to you. I'll try not to get in the way of your dinner and your meal, but there is a couple of things I'd like to just share with you as they go out and about with the bread and things for you. Like many of you, I've a number of strings to my bow as well. Retired nurse, gymnastics coach, and also current parish priest. And as a priest, I regularly officiate at funerals. Very sad to hear about the people who are sick, and I hope that we won't have too many funerals over the next 12 months. But I hear lots of stories, poetry and readings, and one of those inspired me for this evening, so I'd just like to share it with you. Some of you may know it already, and it's called The Dash. I'm not reading it all, just a little bit of it. And it goes like this. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of birth, and said the following date with tears, and then said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that they spent alive on the earth, and now only those who love them know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love, and how we spend our dash. So, when your eulogy is being read, with your life actions to rehash, will you be proud of the things that they say about you and how you spend your dash? So why did it inspire me? Well, the reason is that in the world and family of gymnastics, there are a host of people, some now died, some now retired, and many still very active, who have used their dash in the service as gymnasts, as officials of many kinds, and as professional or technical experts. And we love them all. So for me, this event tonight recognises and gives thanks for people who chose to use the dash of their lives in the service of a great and wonderful sport. So now, as we prepare to celebrate all that is good in our sport, as one of those who deserve tonight's accolades, let us pray. Thank you, God, for the sport of gymnastics. Thank you, God, for all who in the past have given, all who are currently giving, and all who in the future will give their lives to the service of this sport. Thank you, God, for all who are thanked, remembered and honoured tonight. And now, God, we ask you to bless the food we shall eat, the fellowship we shall share, and hopefully the fun we shall have tonight. Amen.
Whenever you want.
So in this spare moment, ladies and gentlemen, we feel it's time, appropriate moment to draw the raffle. I'll put that one that dropped in there. And one little hint for those of you who have been watching the film of the Albert Hall here, you may have noticed Susan Dando is serving, she's a waitress here today. She's a dead ringer lookalike of Susan Dando. Now, raffle, here we go. On the green, 23. Green, 23. There we go. Yes. If you go across, and Sue will sort out your prize for you.
30.
On the pink, 26. Yes, there you go. Cuddly toys awaiting you, over there. Well, it's only got 294. It might take your journey. On the white, 294. Oh, there we go, Mrs. Young. 294. Back on the green with 96. 96, 96, there we go. 96. Still on the green, number 7. 7, Mr. Wilson. He's got a 7. Oh, Mrs. Wilson. Yes. Over there. You might find a partner for that dog. We've decided to go blue. Turquoisey blue colour, 47. 47, 47. $47, anyone owning up? Yes, there we are, Mr. Hann, 47. Oh, Mrs. Hann. It's Mr. Hann. 47. tickets, all white, 279. Oh, it's got to be 279. Les, is it you? 279. Oh, lad, play fair. 279. Pink ticket, 19, 19 on. 19, pink. Anyone in the pink with 19? Yes! Blue, 5 and 5, 55. 55. On the blue. 5 and 5. On the blue. Couldn't be true. 66. 6 and 6. On blue. 66. It's green. 20. 2-0. 20. Green 20. There we go. Can I ask Nik Stuart to come forward, please? So, it could all have gone very differently. Beth Tweddle was born on April's Fool Day 1985 in Johannesburg, South Africa. Beth might have given South Africa their first world medal, but thankfully parents Jerry and Hann gave up a colonial lifestyle of sun and endless beaches for Banbury. Inspired and dedicated parents. Few will understand the responsibility of raising and the scale and undertaking to raise and support and nurture a talent that generated 28 major medals: Olympic, World, Universiade, European and World Cup. British Senior All-Around Champion, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Beth is Britain's greatest ever women's artistic gymnast. 2012 Olympic bronze medalist, 3-time world champion, 6-time European champion and 7-time British champion. Competed at 3 Olympic Games, Athens, Beijing and London, and also was received, awarded the MBE in 2010. Beth found time to graduate from Liverpool John Moore University with a 2-1 in sports science, and subsequently was accepted to study physiotherapy. She deferred much of her studies in order to train for the 2012 Games, and she's now returned and she's studying for a Masters. Following her Olympic career, Beth took a break from competitive gymnastics, taking part in the 2013 series of ITV's Dancing on Ice, which she won with skating partner Daniel Whiston. But we won't talk about the ski jumping career. Since retiring from gymnastics, Beth has remained very much involved with the sport as a director and ambassador of Total Gymnastics with fellow Olympian Steve Parry. Many children have benefited from her expertise and leadership. She is now also a director of Switch to Play, a company which helps athletes who are still training begin to understand and make the transition from doing what you love to doing something that's going to be real world, earning a living. How to transfer from adrenaline pumping 8 hours a day to sitting at a desk or doing a job or leading. It's a very, very difficult transition, and the company they've set up is there to help people make that change. What separates Beth from all the other British and world gymnasts? It's not the medals, it's not the titles. Beth will take her place with the legends of gymnastics for a bar exercise that went beyond perfection: performance, design, complexity, and mastery of skill. It was an exercise that transformed sport into an art form. A moment in gymnastics history that will survive every generation and every code of points to come. No coach and few gymnasts who watch that routine still don't look and get that little chill. It's something very, very special. An exercise in a moment when the gymnast, apparatus and the beautiful possibilities were as one. Ladies and gentlemen, Beth Tweddle.
Well, I wasn't planning on speaking until Scott did. Thanks, Scott. Firstly, just thank you for the invite tonight. My parents do apologise that they can't be here, but they've actually flown out to go to the World Championships to watch. Even though I've retired, they've basically, they go everywhere. They followed my career, and now they basically took the new gymnasts under their wing and they follow them everywhere. But like Scott said, without the people before me that were achieving what they did, everyone always says to me it was you that started it, but actually it wasn't. It was the people in this video, the people that were passionate about gymnastics. My coach obviously supported me the whole way, but the gymnasts before me that started to make finals and really sort of showed that British gymnasts could be on an international stage. Yes, I took it one step further, and then Max has gone and trumped me big time. But yeah, so thank you to everyone in this room for obviously all the support throughout my career, and good luck to the youngsters that are sat at the back, and keep up with that bow tie. I'm loving it, by the way.
Lifetime Achievement Award. Can I call Brian Stocks forward, please? Oh, he's halfway here. Multitasking as always. You'll have to do a selfie. Okay, 50 years of coaching, Jack Kelly. What a man. Former rugby player, had his first experience on a trampoline when he was appointed as a lecturer at the University of Hull in 1963. At the age of 24 and with no access to instructional literature on trampolining, Jack started practicing and teaching on his own, passing on to university students what he had learned and what he knew about the sport. In '66, Jack became deputy manager at Harlow Sports Centre. Inspired by an international trampoline youth event hosted at the centre, he soon started his own club called High Club Harlow and qualified as a coach at the Loughborough Summer School. By the early 70s, the High Club had become the most successful trampoline club in the UK, with its gymnasts winning 5 titles at the first ever World Age Group Championships in 1973. Totally committed to the development of world-class performances with his athletes and having discovered a mutual movement philosophy, Kelly merged his club with the artistic section coached by Mitch Fenner. Bush Harlow Gymnastics then became Apex Harlow. In '74, the club's star performer Simon Rees became British senior men's champion and European youth champion at just 15 years of age. Apex became a major player in world trampolining, and in the early 80s the club's success was crowned by Stuart Matthews and Cal Furrier world titles 1980 and 1982. Meanwhile, Jack was on the move again, and it was Levitation Trampoline Club, and later he took up a part-time coach education course appointment with British Gymnastics. In 2003, he became full-time high-performance coach on the UK-funded world-class programme, a position that allowed him to help coaches who were working with talented juniors. His basic philosophy: high-level coaching is not about high-difficulty moves. It's about coaching basic skill with an understanding of its significance to high-level performance. When the world-class programme was restructured before Beijing, Jack and former Apex Harlow coach John Beard became the national technical managers, with the goal of taking British trampoline forward. A unified technical policy based on essential principles and key technical aspects was adopted. Jack set out years ago to help gymnasts and coaches open the door to the higher possible difficulty and execution in trampoline gymnastics. By describing his philosophy in his book Over and Above, Jack offered a key to that door. And now GB has its first trampoline Olympic medal. Please welcome Jack Kelly.
Try and shut me up. I don't get this chance very often because I'm married. But I am married to a very supportive lady who was an international trampolinist. Formerly Jan Allen, now Jan Kelly, and who was once the BTF's Coach of the Year and actually outdid the old man. So, you know, I bow to your achievements as well. The Lifetime Achievement Award, it's a bit like a living obituary. You know, this is it. But when I wrote the book, it was a bit like a full stop at the end of my career. But it was meant to be, but actually it's become a semicolon because I'm still going in a modest way. My philosophy, which was very interestingly described from extracts in the book, is simply this: trampolining is too easy. It's too easy to do badly. What you saw on that floor that had no spring in it whatsoever, rock hard on a groundwood floor, the guys were doing amazing stuff. On a trampoline, people like that would get on and they could go around twice, 3 times with ease. To do it well takes a technical approach. And if I've contributed anything, it's an awareness among coaches in trampolining. It isn't easy to do well, all right? And that's the thing I've been promoting. And to see Briony Page come through under the guidance of Paul Greaves, who was one of my guys I mentored, is such a thrill. Anyway, thank you so much for this award. It's really appreciated.
Results of the silent auction. Have we got them there? What we're doing, slight change from last time. Not been done yet?
No.
Oh, delayed.
Didn't tell me.
That's right, we'll delay. Okay, we'll pass on. Mike Swallow to the front, please. He's there already. Good. Okay. Lifetime achievement. Behind you. He's behind you, right. One of the things about a Lifetime Achievement Award is, yes, it takes a lifetime to get there. And you need someone who's had in excess of 50 years of working in the sport, doing their thing, and making sure that the whole machinery moves forward, the whole sport moves forward. Alex Smith, 50 years as treasurer for Yorkshire Gymnastics and Yorkshire Schools, definitely comes into the long-serving 60 years this month. Yeah, long-serving volunteer then. Let's be agreed on that. Alex's involvement for gymnastics began 65 to 75 as a member of BG's Gymnastrada team. He continued to promote gymnastics as head of PE at Rishworth School. Now aged 85, he actually left school at 14, so education didn't give him what he wanted. He ploughed out his own furrow. He moved from East London during the Blitz to Falkirk in Scotland and then joined the Royal Navy at 15 until he was 25. Alex was chosen as button boy, that's taking the salute at the top of the mast. He became a PTI representative honours in cross country, joined Rishworth School as head of physical training until retiring in 1992. He was sub-lieutenant of Rishworth School Combined Cadet Force. During his years at the school, his team won the Yorkshire Gymnastics Team Championships, and the team consisted of Alec, Graham Rushforth, Mike Swallow, and two others here today, Dave Bowler and Nik Chetwood. Can the team give us a wave, team? There we go. Still, a team assembled is a team that was strong and united 30, 40, 50 years ago. And it's a great honour for us at the Nik Stuart Foundation to see a team of this calibre once again brought together. Rishworth School also won the North of England Cross Country Championships. Alan and the rest of the team joined the AGA, British Gymnastics, and the Yorkshire AGA in 1957, and Alex became the on-treasurer of Yorkshire. And yes, I've got it here, he still holds it 60 years on. Represented GB at 3 World Gymnastrada, Vienna, Bâle and West Berlin, and at the Joachim Bloom Festival in Tenerife. He attended the first ever Brevi judging course in '73 to become an international judge. But he also trod the boards in a music hall, along with his partner, Mike Swallow, as the Mad Alex, starring alongside many others such as the legendary Charlie Caroni. So, still a performer, still serving gymnastics. Please welcome Alex Smith.
This is a tremendous surprise. I got one of these about 5 years ago. 10 years. But I managed to get my team together. There's 2 missing, unfortunately, but I've been in touch with them all my 65 years with them, and they support me. I don't support them. And I thank you very much for this occasion tonight. I had no idea of this. I'll kill it. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much.
So, while they're still working out there on the masses of bids for the silent auction, going to ask Mike and Sue to come up to the front. Okay, another Lifetime Achievement Award. A few years ago, I introduced Brian Hayhurst as a story of rags to El Dorado. With respect, I might say our next award could be Rags to Rags story. The tale of a man infected with ideas that can at times be outrageous, crazy, mind-blowing, mind-changing, game-changing, and a poke in the eye of the established expectations. Ideas that carried him over oceans, into great arenas, provoking attention, and always seeing gymnastics with a challenging vision. Did Westwood Secondary Modern School ever think that in their midst was a lad who would become Chief Operating Officer for the World Indoor Championships in Athletics 2003, Director, Board Member of Central Council for Physical Recreation, Gymnastics Sport Director, Manchester Commonwealth Games, British Olympic Committee Member, FIG Council Member, President and CEO, British Gymnastics. As a graduate of Bexley Grammar School and Carnegie School of Physical Education, he left his mark with every step of his professional career. He was a trampolinist by stage who could see the sport as being part of a whole. He moved to Halifax School of Gymnastics, where he led the gymnastics department, and City of Liverpool, creating a model, a unique model, that many others would follow. In order to compete with the professional attitude of the rest of the gymnastics world, Brian Stocks and Norman Wilkinson realised that Liverpool could have and provide everything that it would take to produce a top world gymnast. The pitted gym came first, providing a safe and permanent environment in which to train. And thanks to Liverpool City Council and European investment, the club were then able to build the large gymnasium, creating a perfect international training facility. Following this probably came the most important link, the staff. The club attracted internationally renowned coaches, Delchev from Bulgaria, Mashu from China, who coached the boys to international success. Andrei Popov from Russia coached the girls. And somewhere in this story, there's a sailing ship that goes round the world with Brian's name and Liverpool's name. His motto, never hide, lead by example, and think big. Head of Sport and International Events with the Local Services Directorate of Birmingham City Council. How many great gymnastic events did he realise and stage? How many great events has Birmingham hosted and invented? All following Brian's motto, think big, think great. Brian and I shared an adventure many years ago with members of the British team. We flew to Hong Kong, took the local train up to the Chinese border, and walked 20 young gymnasts and coaches through a forest of barbed wire. We handed out BG pin badges, which confused but delighted the officials and the customs officers. There was a breakfast stir-fry at the station while we waited for the next train up to Canton. We'd met up Jim Wilson's here, there he is. We met up with Jim Wilson on the way. He actually led us to the train that sent us across the border. But we eventually arrived at the gymnastics school in Canton, where we watched the most adventurous and beautiful gymnastics in the most appalling conditions imaginable. All in the quest for answers, all trying to find out how to make British clubs better and turn British gymnasts into world medalists. We've heard a lot about Donald Trump, but the man who invented the title trumping was actually Brian Stocks. He was able to say the right thing that made people stand up and say, what? But he once announced with all gravitas, why shouldn't world medalist Neil Thomas enter the British Championships wearing a cape and running down the stairs waving? Hasn't it come to pass? Look at the British Championships now. Look at all the great events we have now. It's lights, it's pyrotechnics. They're wearing capes, they're wearing the fancy uniforms. They're doing everything that was part of a vision that really we should all embrace. Brian's partnership with Multivision served gymnastics well. What we see now is what they invented, what they saw. Ideas, ideas, and more ideas. A British Gymnastics President and later Association Chief Executive, Brian, along with Alan Somerville, were responsible for saving the failing BAJ from bankruptcy and of establishing a model that would allow our gymnasts to benefit from their association, the members' association, not just be paying a fee to prop it up. With his wife Jean, Brian entered the rag trade, establishing Elite International to bring the best array of gymnastics clothing to British clubs. Now a family business with exciting interests. So the tail rags to rags, we got there in the end. I know it was a long haul. Where would gymnastics be without dreamers, visionaries and trumpers? Where Brian dared, we were all ultimately to win. The man himself, Brian Stocks.
I won't keep you too long. I think it's all about we. My wife always tells me it's about we. There's some people in the room that obviously were great stalwarts and great supporters. Alex Smith was my first treasurer when I went to Yorkshire. Still have the battles over money that we had those days. Jimmy Wilson, the milk top boy, who encouraged us as young men to take up the sport. A great advert that you were involved in the milk days, and that was fantastic. A whole range of people. I'm so humbled to be here with the likes of Keith Hughes, who's been responsible for developing a whole element of gymnastics in his life and just supported. Trevor Lowe, I've always said this many times, saved British gymnastics at a time that we had no money. He actually went out and kept the squad going. And to be delighted to actually have people here that produced a dream that we never thought was possible. I never believed that we could get a World Championship medal, Beth. And when you fell off A-bars the second time down in London, and the sponsors nearly fell, and then you went on floor and won the medal, we could not have written a better story for British gymnastics. And Scott, what you've done has taken the sport, and we are all grateful and humbled by what the people have done. It's a fantastic support, and I look around this room at all the people and I would say thank you. But I can't leave this platform without thanking one person, my wife, who has suffered, even tonight, as I came in here and left her with no drink, who has suffered me 50 years in the sport. I know what it's like, Meg and Bunny, what it's like when you've got those relationships, but I must say publicly, a big thank you to my wife who supported me all the way through the good times, the bad times, but I need to thank all of you for the support you've given to British gymnastics. Well done, everybody. Thank you.
Yes, we've got the silent auction. The collection of these will be at the end. After we've had the photo call, or while the photo call is on, you can go over and you can find out what prizes you've won, your dues, and take your goods home. All right, I'm going to ring out, just talk through the winners. All right, Longines pen, OG7. Arena business card holder, OG7. Jimmy Wilson picture, SCS T2, table 2. Daily Post picture, JK, table 3. Birmingham programme, TH, table 8. Glass paperweight, MC, table 7. BG polo shirt, SH. Taiwan fan, AH. Equinox pen, EB8, table 8. The Teddy Bear, AG, table 8. Flora London Marathon jacket, AH, table 5. 2018 calendar, SCS 2. Eileen Langsley Max book, ST1. Uchimura book, ST1. Cuddly Dog, AK5. Centenary Display Video, LA 7. World Championships Radio, OG 7. USSR Program, MS. Adrianov Frame Picture, PD, table 6. Ring Leap framed, looks like TH, table 8. Sean Connery Memorabilia, a film buff, BD 3. Miscellaneous magazines, JK 3. The Vintage Port, wonderful prize, £50, AS, table 1. Should have known it. Jack Kelly book, AD7. Don't forget, Jack's going to sign that for you. GB Officials blazer, just says 1 on it. Storhag lapel pin, BAS, table 3. And the Nik lapel pin, WS, table 6. So there we have silent auction winners. You can collect your goods, make your payment at the end of the evening, which is not far away. Dates for 2018 Nik Stuart dinner will be published. It'll go through some fancy dancing on public media, or if you're in the business of Facebook, you'll be able to follow it on Facebook. We're asking you to enjoy the facilities in the hotel, in this room. You're perfectly entitled and you're welcome to stay here and talk the night away, or down in the lounge bar. If you want to go to the casino, you can go to the casino. But most important is the photo call. All winners at the end of this evening, please come to the front here, or gather better in front of the pictures, and we're going to take one Photoshop of all the winners. So, thank you for your attention today, and thank you for your interest in all these incredibly talented award winners. And I'll pass you back over to Mike Swallow for the closing address.
I mean, you've heard some wonderful words today about our recipients in particular. I mean, I started in 1957. Yeah, there was gymnastics, and there were some really good gymnasts in those days. They were a very minority group. I started in 57 with my coach, Alex Smith. And when you told people that you were a gymnast, it was, oh, what do you do? Star jumping and that kind of thing? They had no concept at all. And you know, the leap we've made over these years has just been incredible. It really has. I can't emphasize. I mean, we've had Neil Thomas winning medals at World Championships. We've had people in trampoline winning world titles and World Cups and stuff like that. But I guess that in Anaheim, the bronze medal of the World Championships was the kind of catalyst that proved that in the modern day gymnastics there was something more to come. And I guess that everything followed from that. And I was in Rio 2016. It was the greatest day of my life to watch our first Olympic champion. I couldn't believe it. It was just phenomenal. And that picture up there, you won't recognise it because the guy with hair, but the guy up there says it all. Well, the guy up there, it epitomises what we've dreamed of for many, many years. And I'd like to thank him, but I'd like to thank all those people from before. And I just remind you that many years before that, there was a guy called Nik Stuart, won the silver medal in the European Championships. And he also won the Deutsche Turnfest against Yuri Titov, Boris Shaklin, the world's Olympic and best gymnast in the world, and he beat them all. And they said, and Yuri Titov was one of our international recipients, and he said, "Oh, thank Christ Nik wasn't born in Russia." But we've gone from there, and we now have where we stand today. And I thank all the recipients today, and all the people who've come today, because as we've been said many times, many of you, and if not all of you, have played a part. I thank you very much. I wish you a safe journey home. I hope to see you in the bar, and please keep on reminiscing. Thank you very much.
So award winners forward for photo call, please. Silent auction winners, you can collect your prizes and make your payment. And there's a small number of people, I believe, that Hilary would like to collect some dinner money from. If you could please find Hilary now. Thank you.